Happy Saturday. Welcome to the latest installment of our video series documenting the development of our product called Client Planner. This is a portfolio planning tool for IP firms. So let's get into it and get me stopping talking and showing you things that are going on in the product. So we last week we added the ability to add in prior year filings, so you could forecast that for your clients. We've cleaned up a lot of the user interface. One of the things you'll notice now is all of the bars have totals on top of them, so you don't have to guess, what's the total amount. That obviously works, whether you want to do, 5 years or a number of years. We've also cleaned up the interface. We had cards that if you didn't have any data, you would still have a card. So there was like a product card and some other cards there that were oriented towards the corporate clients. Nothing there now. I'm the attorney, so I'm seeing my cases. I'm not a very good attorney. I've only got two clients, Acme Corporation and Global Widgets. But we also no longer have an attorney card if we only have one attorney. It seemed kind of stupid. So Phil Henderson's now up in the work area. The other thing that we did to allow you to see more countries, we changed the layout to just use the country code, and then you'll notice numbers and everything. So now we give you a quick visual reference of how many cases are applicable for this particular situation. So Acme Corporation has 235 cases. If I drag this up here, then I can see that they've got 66 French cases, 52 US cases, etc. So all of that's dynamic. You'll see that that changes depending upon on how you do things. So some really quick visual references to to what's going on. Let's say Acme Corporation calls me up and says, Phil, what are we going to be spending in? Let's go back down to 2024. What's our budget look like for 2024? So we're at about 129K. Then they say, well, that's great, but what are we going to spend with our new filings? So we can come over to our new filing tab. We can drop in the prior year very easily, as I showed last week. That also has the numbers in it. We can also now create custom plans. So we can drop in 52 filings from last year. We can see that that takes us up to 302K, or we can edit it. And we've added edit controls, which we did not have last week. So you'll see when you hover over it, you get a little pencil icon and a trash can. If you click on the pencil icon, you can edit it. So we're going to do more filings this year. We're going to go up to 83 filings. And so we can drag this up here and see what the differences are. So we can compare 52 from prior year, 83 this year, and we can create any number of custom filing plans. And then the new data is shown in the light green. So you'll see the cost from the new applications, the application costs, the prosecution costs are here. And then we can also, zoom out. So if the client says, I want to see what does this mean over 5 years for me, it means you're going to spend $2.4 million over 5 years. And so we're still working on the interface a little bit. There's a couple bugs in the number on the pills, but we're coming along there. So next week we're going to be integrating in the IPMS docket data so that we can get really refined forecasts based upon real docketing activities. And then the other thing we're doing is we're working on our output, because you can export the graphs and the charts and all that's kind of nice, but clients actually want to see things at the detail level. And so here's an example of the data that we're looking at to export. So you'll be able to get a tab per year. It'll be at the matter level. It'll show your client, what's the upcoming activity, when is it due, what are the estimated fees going to be, translation costs, etc. And so they'll be able to very easily see what are my projected costs at the family level, by quarter, by year, and we're working on this. So you should see a preview of this next weekend, as well as a preview of the integration of the docketing. So that's what we did this week. Looking forward to catching up next week, and thanks for checking in on our progress and keeping us honest. So again, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next weekend.